Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the stories that, well, have everyone talking.
That's right.
And today, we are plunging right into the latest 2 weeks of Bold and the Beautiful drama. We're talking September 15th right through to the 26th.
A very packed couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. We're going to uncover the hidden motivations, those shocking twists, and some pretty controversial shifts that are reshaping Genoa City's biggest families.
Definitely. We've really dug into the fan sites, places like Soap Dirt, Forrester Fury, and Spencer Scorn on B&B, the reliable ones.
Exactly. To bring you those unfiltered, detailed insights, the stuff you need to stay ahead of every reveal. Our mission today, cut through all that noise, right? The whispers, the shocks, and pull out the most critical nuggets of knowledge, the real insights from these pretty dense plot summaries.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We'll explore that whole web of relationships, the betrayals. They always ripple through generations, don't they?
They really do. And some truly surprising character turns that are set to, well, maybe redefine the show a bit.
It feels like it.
We're giving you the shortcut, basically. The ultimate shortcut to being totally up to speed on all the latest drama. Get ready for some serious aha moment.
And hopefully a bit of humor along the way.
Just enough to keep you hooked, yeah? We're talking Brooke being genuinely scared, Will being, well, absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
And some really wild narrative shifts. Those retcons, retroactive continuity, where they kind of rewrite the past.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into those. It's quite something.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Absolutely. This period, these 2 weeks, it's just a masterclass in heightened drama. You've got conflicts that have been simmering for ages, finally just erupting.
Yeah.
And it forces characters to face decades, literally decades, of unresolved stuff. It's a crucial point, really. It promises to redefine relationships, family dynamics, the Forresters, Logans, Spencers, all of them.
Okay, let's kick things off with the Forresters. Because, when are they not in a whirlwind?
Good point. Always something.
This whole section, we're delving into that intense conflict around Ridge's romantic choices again. And the fallout, right? It's hitting Thomas, Brooke, Taylor, even Eric.
Yep.
The patriarch gets pulled in.
This isn't just some lover spat. It feels like a full-blown family war with really deep historical roots going way back.
Decades back.
So the main catalyst for this latest chaos, Ridge's quote-unquote final decision, and Thomas's just explosive reaction to it. We saw that really unfold around September 15th, 16th. The sources say the drama really, really ramped up around the very quick wedding between Ridge and Brooke.
Right. It happened fast. And Eric Forrester, he was apparently thrilled about it, genuinely believes Ridge belongs with Brooke.
Which is interesting, right? Eric's endorsement, him being the patriarch, that's significant. It really shapes how everyone else sees this union.
It absolutely is. Eric's view, given his history, as the head of the family, his past with Brooke, with Stephanie, it carries huge weight.
His excitement, for some people, it kind of legitimizes Ridge's choice. Like, maybe this finally closes the door on that old rivalry. But for others, especially Taylor and Thomas, it just fuels their resentment. They see it as Eric just falling for the same old Logan manipulation again.
Right. Here we go again.
Exactly. It just highlights those deep, deep divisions in the family. How even something supposedly happy, like a wedding, can just rip open old wounds.
And Thomas, oh boy, Thomas. He just visibly lost it, completely lost his composure over his parents breaking up again.
Understandable from his perspective.
He's absolutely convinced Brooke Logan played the temptress, that she manipulated Ridge, actively worked to steal him back, and, let's be honest.
We've seen it before. Many times.
We definitely have. The sources even kind of admit Brooke was playing the temptress, touching Ridge, trying to kiss him while he was still with Taylor.
All right, that part was happening.
But apparently that didn't work. It was Ridge's near drowning in Italy. That accident somehow pushed him to this final decision. A moment of clarity, they say.
The near-death epiphany.
Yeah, apparently he realized he couldn't live without Brooke.
That near-death experience in Italy, it's such a classic soap opera device, isn't it? A catalyst. Designed to force this immediate, often really dramatic shift in perspective.
Right. Skips all the messy indecision.
Exactly. It lets the writers just bypass that whole prolonged waffling period and justify Ridge suddenly, definitively choosing Brooke.
Makes sense narratively.
And it's not just him saying, I love you. It's Ridge trying to finally break free from that constant back and forth that's defined his love life forever, using this huge dramatic event to underline this time, it's final.
Okay. But Thomas's fury, it boils over into actual physical confrontation.
Yeah, that's where it gets really serious.
He apparently grabbed Brooke, started screaming right in her face. Ridge had to literally fly in, physically intervene, push his own son away to defend Brooke.
Wow.
That's a huge line to cross in any family, right? But especially the Forresters, where business and personal are always so tangled up.
It absolutely is. And Ridge's immediate physical defense of Brooke against Thomas. It really underscores the weight of his decision. Telling Thomas he couldn't live without Brooke, wants to spend his life with her. That's not just love talk. It's like a desperate plea. Please accept my choice, even if it means pushing you away.
Yeah.
He's trying to end the years of indecision by drawing this really firm line. But the cost, a huge rift with his son.
And the sources also make it clear Taylor Hayes is just collateral damage. That's the term used. Collateral damage in their grand destiny.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Harsh framing.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting for me. Thomas, right in the middle of his rage, his physical outburst, which is obviously wrong.
Totally wrong.
He's described as rightly accusing Ridge, rightly accusing him of constantly bouncing between Taylor and Brooke and never making a choice.
The core truth bomb.
Exactly. His reaction, as bad as the physical part is, it's rooted in Ridge's actual history.
Yeah.
Years and years of waffling. So, okay, his actions are inexcusable, but is he right in his accusation?
That's the crux of it, isn't it?
It raises that big question about accountability, not just for Thomas, but for Ridge, too.
And this is such a classic Bold and the Beautiful tension, right? Thomas's violence, indefensible, absolutely. But him calling out Ridge's lifelong pattern of indecision?
It rings true.
It resonates so deeply, especially for longtime viewers. Thomas is basically voicing the audience's own frustration, with Ridge just going back and forth for decades.
Yeah, we've all been screaming it at the TV.
Pretty much. His anger comes from this deep-seated feeling of betrayal. Watching his dad choose Brooke over his mom time and time again, only to, eventually flip back. From a storytelling angle, it's powerful. It highlights the generational trauma Ridge's inability to commit has caused, how his choices directly hurt his kids emotionally.
Building on that, it's fascinating how Ridge's indecision over the years, it's like created this feedback loop. The kids are just perpetually caught in the middle.
Always.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? The son, in his rage, throwing the very truth back at his father that his father has lived out for decades.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if deep down, Ridge hears that accusation and just knows it's the uncomfortable truth, even while he's defending Brooke.
That's a really crucial observation. Ridge's whole destiny with Brooke, it's a narrative that just keeps resetting, right? Often at the expense of Taylor and the kids.
Always.
So Thomas's accusation, yeah, it's fueled by his anger and loyalty to Taylor, but it's also a direct commentary on that very pattern in the show. It's not just a son yelling at his dad.
Yeah.
It's a character acknowledging the show's own history of these love triangles and the damage they do.
The collateral damage, as they put it.
Exactly. This recursive pattern, it ensures the Forrester drama stays perpetually volatile. Past grievances never really get resolved. They just get sidelined for a bit.
And the debate doesn't stop with Thomas. On the 16th, we also see Eric and Taylor going at it. A really heated argument between them.
Right, the older generation weighs in.
Eric's position is that, after years of Brooke's rivalry with Stephanie, it's basically time that Brooke had someone stable at her side. He genuinely, really, truly thinks Ridge is better off with Brooke.
He sees it as finally finding peace?
Yeah, like this is the resolution. A stable future for Brooke after all that turmoil.
Eric's argument is so rooted in his personal history, isn't it? With Brooke, with Stephanie. He saw that brutal rivalry between them for Ridge firsthand.
He lived through it all.
And he himself has such a complex past with Brooke Bull. Married her multiple times. So his desire for her to finally find stability with Ridge, it suggests maybe a longing for peace in the whole family.
Maybe even atonement.
Perhaps. Atonement for his own past choices or just for the chaotic environment the Forresters have always kind of created. It's a very paternal view, almost nostalgic, hoping for a less tumultuous future for everyone, especially Brooke.
I get Eric wanting stability for Brooke, I really do. But isn't there a risk? Don't you think the audience who's seen this cycle repeat for 30 years might see his excitement as a bit naive or even enabling, rather than actually legitimizing Ridge's choice this time?
That's a very perceptive point.
It feels like selective memory from Eric, maybe? Considering how often Ridge has found his way back to Brooke, only to find his way back to Taylor right after. I see fans saying that all the time.
No, you're right, and it definitely speaks to the audience's deep understanding of these characters and their histories.
Yeah.
For anyone who's watched for a while, Eric's optimism can feel like wishful thinking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Taylor, for instance, she immediately challenges him on it. She counters Eric strongly, saying her conviction is that both Eric and Ridge always fall for Logan manipulation,
Always.
that they're blind to what Brooke and Donna and all these women do. She even points to Eric's own marriages to Brooke as proof.
Using his own history against him.
Exactly. Her reaction is described as just appalled, utterly disbelieving that Eric genuinely thinks Ridge is better off with Brooke this time. Taylor's basically screaming, "Haven't we learned anything?"
Which is a fair question, isn't it? Taylor's point highlights that deep, deep mistrust running through the Forresters when it comes to the Logans.
Definitely.
It's not just about now, it's decades of what they see as meddling and manipulation.
Exactly. What's so fascinating is how deeply entrenched these beliefs are. They reflect decades of show history. It's not just about Ridge's current girl choice. It's about family legacy, perceived manipulation, the whole Forrester-Logan rivalry that is bold and the beautiful, really.
The foundation of the show.
Totally. Taylor sees this pattern, this Logan manipulation, she thinks has trapped both Ridge and Eric again and again. Her view is shaped by her own repeated heartbreaks from Ridge, right?
Of course.
And her belief that Brooke always undermines her relationships. It's a battle for Ridge's heart, sure, but also for the moral high ground, for control of their shared story.
And speaking of Brooke, despite Ridge making these grand declarations, the spoilers keep saying Brooke being scared. There's even a mention of Brooke's fear grips Forrester creations.
Despite the supposed victory.
So what do you think is really driving that fear? Beyond Thomas acting terrifyingly, obviously. Is it just the shaky ground she's always on? Does she know deep down Ridge's final choices rarely stick? Or is it just the general chaos of being involved with the Forresters?
I think Brooke's fear, even with Ridge's big declaration, it probably comes from a lifetime of relationship insecurity, right? A deep-seated knowledge that for a Forrester, destiny is often just a temporary detour.
Well put.
Given her history, any final choice comes loaded with the weight of all the past disappointments, the constant shadow of Taylor, real security. That's just elusive for her.
Yeah.
So it's less about Thomas's immediate threat, though, that's scary, for sure, and more about the cyclical nature of her life in this whole saga. She knows better than anyone how fast allegiances shift, how deep those resentments run, especially from Taylor and Thomas. Their animosity is constant. Her fear is basically a manifestation of the show's own history repeating itself. And her knowing that happiness in this world, it's often very fleeting.
That's a really powerful point. It really speaks to the psychological toll of living like that, always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Constantly.
And the tension isn't going away. The sources explicitly state that Thomas's thirst for revenge on Brooke becomes very problematic.
Ooh, problematic. That's usually code for something big.
Right. This isn't just a fleeting anger that's going to blow over. It's a simmering, sustained threat. It will absolutely have major consequences down the line. He's clearly not letting this go.
Absolutely. That phrasing becomes very problematic. It signals a significant, probably long-term threat. Thomas, as a character, he has a history of going to extremes when he feels his family unit is threatened, or when he thinks his mom's been wronged.
We've seen him do some pretty dark stuff.
Exactly. His past manipulations, his schemes, they were often driven by this twisted desire to reunite his parents. So this thirst for revenge, it implies something calculated, persistent, an effort to undermine Brooke.
How do you think that might play out professionally, personally?
Could be anything. Professional sabotage at Forrester Creations, personal attacks, maybe even more drastic measures given his history. It promises an antagonist whose actions are going to be really central to the drama coming up.
And adding another layer of concern here, the status of Matthew Atkinson, the actor playing Thomas.
The behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, the sources note he's listed in the recurring area of the credits, not with the main contract players anymore.
Okay, that's interesting.
Which implies he may not be sticking around full-time. And if that's true, the warning is ominous. There's no telling what he will do. So what does this all mean for the Forresters? How could an actor's contract status actually influence how intense Thomas's revenge plot gets? Are they setting up a dramatic exit, a temporary one, leaving behind total chaos?
Well, in a show like B&B, an actor shifting from contract to recurring, it often signals a big, high-stakes exit storyline for the character, or at least a major reduction in screen time that needs a really compelling reason within the plot.
Right. They need to explain why he's suddenly less visible.
Exactly. So the writers might use this as an opportunity to push Thomas to, like, irreversible extremes. Create a villain whose departure leaves a huge, lasting impact.
Like he's got nothing left to lose.
Precisely. He's essentially given permission to burn every single bridge on his way out. He's free from the need for long-term character rehabilitation if he's leaving anyway.
So he could do something truly shocking.
Could be a truly shocking act against Brooke, maybe even his own family. Something designed to give a memorable, explosive end to his current story arc. It allows the character to become incredibly dangerous because, narratively speaking, he has less to lose for future plots.
Okay, so while the Forresters are tangled up in their classic love triangle drama,
Business as usual for them.
pretty much, another family is being absolutely rocked by a scandal, a very different kind and arguably much, much darker.
Let's shift focus now to Luna Nozawa. She is in an absolute dire situation.
Understatement of the year, probably. Right. This whole section, we're zeroing in on the immediate escalating consequences for Luna after her alleged actions. It's just a terrifying spiral into chaos for her. Severe repercussions threatening everything.
It looks really bad for her.
The initial reveal, the family horror, it just exploded on September 15th. Luna apparently creeped Remy out by basically telling him that she raped Will while he was drunk.
Wow. Even Remy was creeped out.
That confession immediately sent shockwaves through the Spencer family. Katie Logan, Bill Spencer, horrified to hear that Will was drunk and Luna took advantage of him.
Their reaction would be intense. Bill and Katie protecting Will.
Absolutely. And Will himself, described as totally disgusted, which, yeah, probably doesn't even cover it.
Oh.
The gravity of this accusation and its instant devastating impact on multiple key families, Spencer's, Logan's, it's turning allies into enemies just like that.
This immediately sets incredibly high stakes, emotionally and morally. An accusation of sexual assault, especially involving a core family member like Will, it's one of the most serious things a show can tackle.
Yep.
It instantly brings down the collective outrage, the condemnation of these powerful families. It puts Luna in an almost impossible position right from the start. And the fact that she creeped Remy out, rather than confessing directly to family first, it kind of underscores her desperation, maybe her own internal struggle with how bad her actions were, confiding in someone she saw as less threatening initially.
Interesting take.
That's often how the truth, no matter how ugly, starts to unravel on soaps, isn't it? That first little leak.
Yeah. And the situation goes from just bad to absolutely unhinged with Laya Finnegan's reaction, her blind rage. This plays out between the 16th and 17th.
Laya, Luna's grandmother.
Right. Laya was initially just looking for Luna, worried about her, checking the apartment she got for her. But then, bad timing, Ira, Will, Bill, and Katie Spencer all show up.
Oh no, all at the same time.
Yeah. Converging on that apartment, also looking for Luna, demanding answers. Worst possible moment.
A collision course.
The confrontation is explosive. Lai flies into a blind rage because of Luna's deception. And we're not just talking yelling here.
No.
No, it's a violent outburst. Crosses a huge line. Lai is seen choking her granddaughter.
Choking her.
Choking her. Screaming, after everything I've done, you are evil, evil, evil.
Wow, from her grandmother.
Total breakdown of family love, right? Just pure anger and betrayal. Bill and Will actually have to intervene, pull Lai off Luna.
Okay, so they stop her.
Yes, but listen to this. Not because they suddenly care about Luna's well-being.
Oh, why then?
Because they want Luna to rot in prison forever, rather than die. They want her to suffer the legal consequences, not get a quick, violent end.
That is chilling. It really raises that question, doesn't it? When do families turn on their own like that?
Right.
What pushes someone, a grandmother, to that extreme violence?
It's shocking.
Lai's rage, it must stem from this profound sense of personal betrayal. Suggests that all her earlier efforts to help Luna were built on lies. She probably feels not just betrayed, but publicly shamed by this, especially given Lee's own professional reputation.
That makes sense. Dr. Finnegan.
Right. The emotional stakes are incredibly high because it's a breakdown of the most fundamental bond.
Yeah.
It reveals this raw, visceral need for retribution. And the fact Bill and Will step in, not to save Luna, but to ensure she faces a more prolonged legal punishment. That highlights just how deep their fury runs. They want her to truly pay, not escape through death. It's a calculated, cold form of justice they're seeking.
Wow. And Luna, obviously desperate to escape this, starts making increasingly desperate plays. By September 18th, she's clearly trying to keep herself out of prison.
Understandably.
And she may be trying again to say that she's pregnant by Will Spencer.
Ah, the pregnancy card. called it.
Right. The sources mention there was a previous negative test taken just a couple days after the party, but they add, generally you can't tell that fast.
Leaving the door open.
Exactly, implying uncertainty, the potential for a new, maybe more strategic pregnancy claim now, a possible lifeline, however flimsy it might be. And Katie Logan's reaction to all this, apparently just screaming at Luna that she took advantage of her son Will Spencer.
Pure fury.
It's almost a classic soap move, isn't it, that desperate pregnancy claim? You can practically hear the dramatic dun-dun-dun.
Oh, look, yeah.
But seriously, how often does that tactic actually work? Doesn't it usually just add fuel to the fire, make things worse?
It's definitely a trope, and yeah, B&B, like most soaps, has used it countless times to delay justice or complicate who the father is.
Right.
The ambiguity of that earlier test gives just enough narrative wiggle room for this new claim to seem plausible, maybe to some characters, at least for a little while.
Buys her time.
Maybe. But given the Spencer family's absolute certainty about Luna's guilt, their united front, this tactic is much more likely to just infuriate them even more. Painter is even more manipulative, more deceitful.
Yeah, probably backfire.
Looking at it narratively, it shows Luna's complete desperation, her willingness to use literally any means necessary to escape accountability. It just cements her villain arc further in the eyes of her accusers. It's a last-ditch effort that rarely gets sympathy, but yeah, sometimes it buys a character facing impossible odds a little bit of time.
Meanwhile, Will Spencer himself. He's not having an easy time through all this. Not by a long shot.
I wouldn't imagine so.
On September 19th, Electra Forrester plans this special evening, has a gift for him. But Will is just racked with guilt over this whole Luna thing.
Carrying that weight.
And as we get into the week of the 22nd to the 26th, Will really wants to come clean and tell Electra Forrester the truth. He wants to tell her what happened.
But he can't bring himself to do it.
Seems like he may not be able to bring himself to do it. It's that classic internal conflict, right? Wanting to be honest versus fearing the devastating fallout.
Yeah, the fear of losing her, maybe?
And this creates a ticking clock, doesn't it? The longer he waits, the more likely it is that Electra Forrester will hear it from somebody else.
Oh, definitely. And that's always worse.
And then maybe she blames him for deceiving her too, compounding his guilt. And who might that somebody else be?
Let me guess.
Bingo. Luna herself. She's described as desperate and she's dangerous and really hoping Will Spencer got her pregnant. That desperation could lead her to reveal the truth herself, maybe in some twisted attempt to control the story or force Will's hand.
If she feels cornered.
If she has nothing left to lose, taking Will down with her might seem like a viable, destructive option, maybe.
His internal conflict is really critical here. It humanizes him a bit. Amidst all the Spencer family rage, Will's guilt shows he has a moral compass struggling in there. But his inaction, his silence, potentially puts Electra in a really vulnerable spot. It creates this tension where his morals are fighting his fear for himself, fear for his relationship with Electra.
Right.
And it raises that question, is Will's hesitation more about self-preservation? Or is this a misguided attempt to protect Electra from a truth he thinks will hurt her no matter who tells it?
That kind of moral dilemma.
Staple of soap opera storytelling, trapping characters between a rock and a hard place. Always.
And for Luna, the consequences looming are just dire. She is facing arrest and more prison time. That seems pretty clear.
The walls are closing in.
The Spencer family plus Lai now, they are a united front. Bill, Will, Katie, Lai, they really want Luna to face consequences.
No one's backing down.
So the ultimate question just hangs there. But is there a way that she can get away with them, or are the cops coming and she's behind bars? It really feels like time is running out, with basically no one left in her corner.
That unity of the Spencers and Finnegans against her, it's a formidable opposition, almost insurmountable, you'd think.
Right.
Their collective demand for justice makes her path to escape incredibly narrow. For Luna to avoid prison now, it would take a massive, maybe unbelievable plot twist. Or some external force intervening for her, something that would really defy the narrative momentum that's been building with her accusers.
It would feel cheap if she just got away with it now.
Exactly. The show has spent a lot of time building up this righteous anger from multiple powerful characters. Any easy escape for Luna would seriously undermine the audience's emotional investment in seeing her held accountable. Her desperate ploys, unlikely to sway this united, vengeful group.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit now to something that often sparks huge debates among fans, really defines these long-running soaps. The controversial practice of rewriting character histories, retcons.
Ah, yes, the retcon. Always a hot topic.
This section, we're exploring these narrative gymnastics, focusing on Remy Price, and the introduction of a brand new couple that's actually breaking new ground for the show.
Okay. Interesting combination there.
So first up, we've got this wild rewrite and redemption arc happening for Remy Price.
Remy.
His past behavior was, let's be blunt, disturbing. He was introduced as a pervert photoshopper who was tormenting Electra Forrester with AI nudes.
Yeah, that storyline was deeply unsettling.
The sources call it terribly creepy. And it was. It positioned him clearly as a villain, a real threat to Electra's safety, her privacy.
It was a very strong, unambiguously negative introduction for the character. Explicitly designed to make you feel disgust, concern for Electra.
Yeah.
That kind of setup usually signals a long-term villain path. It really embeds his problematic nature in your mind as a viewer.
Totally.
So to pivot so drastically from that, it takes a very specific kind of narrative intervention. A big one.
Absolutely. So what is the retcon? B&B is now doing this wild rewrite, a redemption of Remy Price.
How are they explaining it?
He's apparently going to explain that his past actions were, quote, just some kind of passing thing, that it wasn't real, and get this, it was because he was sexually confused and didn't want to admit that he was gay.
Ah, the sexual confusion explanation for past bad behavior.
Exactly. The sources point out that Brad Bell, the head writer, does this. They cite Sheila Carter as another prime example of a character given a controversial, often a hard-to-swallow redemption arc. It's almost a signature move for the show.
It really raises that important question, doesn't it? How do storytelling choices like this affect character consistency?
Right.
And how does the audience perceive it?
Yeah.
Because while the intention might be, to introduce diversity or explain away bad behavior, retroactively changing a character's core motivations can feel, well, like a narrative cop-out.
Right.
Rather than organic growth.
Right. It feels unearned sometimes.
If you connect it to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
is this a shortcut to inclusivity? Or is it just a way to quickly sanitize a character for new plots without really dealing with their past actions? It challenges our investment in character history, can really strain that suspension of disbelief.
Definitely.
And Brad Bill has noted he does have a history of these kinds of pivots, often aiming for high shock value or maybe to open up unexpected character pairings. It's a calculated risk, right?
Yeah.
Trading past continuity for future drama.
That's precisely it. It's a huge shift. Boom. Just like that. But this retcon, it also paves the way for something significant. B&B's first gay couple, Remy and Dee, or Deke.
Okay, so that's the new dynamic.
Yeah. The reveal happens when Remy's boyfriend, Dee, shows up at the apartment where Luna is hiding out, or trying to.
Okay.
Luna initially assumes Dee is just Remy's roommate. Why? Because Remy was so fixated on Electra before.
Which makes total sense given his creepy past.
Exactly. Her assumption is completely logical based on what she and we knew about Remy.
Right.
But then Luna finds out Dee and Remy are boyfriend and boyfriend, officially confirming Bold and the Beautiful's first gay couple.
Wow. Okay. That is a landmark moment for the show.
It is. It's great to see representation. But the method of getting there? It's certainly unconventional, isn't it?
To say the least.
Such a sudden pivot from a character with that deeply problematic past into a romantic lead in a groundbreaking relationship, it's jarring.
Jarring is a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing the show's first gay couple is undeniably a landmark moment for representation in daytime TV. It aligns with, broader trends towards more inclusive storytelling. That's positive. However, the narrative journey for Remy specifically, it creates this tension between celebrating inclusivity on one hand and questioning the integrity of his past actions on the other. It encourages you to think critically about how shows introduce diverse characters and whether those previous really unsavory portrayals can truly be erased or explained away so neatly without leaving a bad taste. It's a balancing act for the writers, isn't it? Yeah. Hoping the positive impact of the representation outweighs the audience's skepticism about the character's consistency.
Yeah, it's a gamble. And the mystery around this new character, Dee, or Deke, immediately adds more layers to the drama.
Oh, how so?
Luna makes some kind of request that confuses Dee and Remy. Maybe she wants to hide out there or wants them to check her apartment for cops, something like that.
Okay, she needs help.
But then things get really interesting. Dee recognizes her.
Recognizes Luna.
Yes, and is not happy that Luna is in their apartment.
Oh, why?
This is flagged in the sources as a huge red flag, suggesting that Dee may be Deacon Jr., a.k.a. Eric Sharp, a.k.a. Little D.
Whoa. Deacon Sharp's son. Little D. That's a deep cut.
Right. For the longtime fans, that's a big connection.
Huge potential implications there.
So if you connect those dots, if Dee is Deacon's son, a character with his own complex history on the show,
Yeah.
and if he, say, shows up and tells his dad that he saw Luna Nozawa, the girl who killed his friends.
Oh my God. That would be massive jeopardy for Luna.
Exactly. Another massive layer. This isn't just a new romance plot. It's potentially a key that unlocks even worse consequences for Luna. Shows how interconnected everyone and their pasts are in this world.
Wow.
The sources promise we're going to find out lots more about Dee very soon, suggesting this connection is about to blow up.
That's fascinating how this new relationship, which starts as this positive step for representation, immediately gets tangled up in the show's ongoing criminal drama. It adds so much more complexity to Luna's already terrible situation.
Right. It's not just a side story.
No, it's potentially a key to unlocking even more severe fallout for Luna. It shows how deeply woven everyone's actions are. The potential for Dee to be Deacon's son ties this brand new dynamic directly into existing emotionally charged history.
And Deacon, if he learns Luna was involved in the death of his friends.
Oh, his reaction. Given his history of loyalty, fierce protectiveness, it could be truly catastrophic for Luna. It perfectly illustrates how new characters often get woven straight into the high-stakes plots, making sure their arrival immediately impacts the bigger picture.
Okay, as we move into our final segment here, let's just summarize that week of September 22nd through the 26th, highlight how these plot lines are converging, and the really profound implications for everyone caught up in them.
Yeah, this is where it all starts to come together and maybe fall apart.
Right, this is where all the threads we've been pulling on really start to tighten. Makes for some potentially explosive TV.
For sure.
First off, Luna's desperation, it just intensifies dramatically. She's still in this incredibly precarious spot, facing arrest, prison time.
The pressure is immense.
Her state of mind is described as dangerous, suggesting she's really pushed to the brink, capable of anything unpredictable now.
Cornered animal kind of thing.
Yeah. And her continued desperate hope for a pregnancy by Will is still driving her. It increases the likelihood she might even take matters into her own hands. Maybe tell Elektra the truth herself if she feels she has no other play left.
A scorched earth approach.
If she's going down, maybe she tries to take others down with her. It feels possible.
Her desperation is definitely escalating. And when a character hits that critical point, their actions become not just unpredictable, but potentially devastating for everyone around them. That perceived pregnancy could be her absolute last card to play. A final, desperate gamble to dodge justice or at least delay it.
Right.
If that last desperate plan fails, there's no telling what extremes she might go to, potentially sacrificing relationships, reputations, maybe even her own safety in just a frantic effort to escape. It really highlights the intense psychological pressure of being cornered, facing serious jail time with seemingly no way out.
Meanwhile, the Spencer family plus Lynn and now, they are maintaining that unyielding pursuit of justice.
Holding the line.
Bill, Will, Katie, Lynn, totally unified. They want Luna to face consequences for what she allegedly did to Will.
You're not letting up.
So the big question just hangs over everything. Will she actually get away with them? Or are the cops coming and she's behind bars? It feels like justice is closing in, but
it's a soap opera.
Exactly. You never truly know if someone's going to get their just desserts, do you? There's always room for a twist.
Their united front is formidable, though. It presents this almost unbreakable wall against Luna. For her to escape now, it would need a truly significant, maybe even unbelievable plot twist.
Something out of left field.
Or some external force intervening for her.
Yeah.
Something that would seriously disrupt the narrative momentum the show's built with her accusers. Like you said, the show has invested so much time, so much emotional weight in building this righteous anger from multiple powerful characters. Any easy out for Luna now would definitely undermine the audience's investment in seeing her held accountable. The twist would have to be pretty extraordinary to satisfy viewers who are really eager for a resolution to this whole charged storyline.
And then there's the intriguing role of Sheila Carter in all this.
Ah, Grandma Sheila. Always lurking.
Right. Luna's grandmother, Sheila, is predictably terrified for her granddaughter, Luna. But what's interesting is this mention of a closed-door possibility of Sheila helping.
Meaning she might, but hasn't yet.
Possibly. And this could become a real factor if Dee is Deacon's son and implicates Luna in a murder connected to his friends.
Okay, that would raise the stakes immensely.
If that connection gets made, Sheila's criminal past, her fierce, often really dangerous loyalty to her family, that could be a massive wild card.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially bringing in a level of dark intervention only Sheila Carter could provide. So why should you, listening, care about this tangled web?
It connects everything.
It shows how actions just ripple out across different families, potentially bringing back old criminal elements, adding whole new layers of danger, intrigue, and maybe the ultimate, albeit bloody, get-out-of-jail-free card for Luna.
The potential re-entry of Sheila Carter. Given her infamous criminal history, her manipulation skills, those intense protective instincts, it could absolutely change Luna's fate dramatically.
For sure.
If Sheila needs to intervene, it implies the consequences for Luna are so severe that only someone like Sheila, operating outside the law, outside normal morality, could possibly navigate it.
Right.
This connection ties the current drama to a much darker, more violent history within the show. Underscores that in this universe, nobody truly escapes their past connections or their family's legacy. Could offer Luna a lifeline? Yeah, but a really perilous one that comes with its own huge long-term costs.
And let's not forget Thomas in all this. That explicit mention that Thomas Forrester's thirst for revenge on Brooke Logan becomes very problematic. That's a lingering threat, right? It's going to keep developing beyond these 2 weeks.
It's not over by a long shot.
This isn't just a one-off outburst. It's a sustained, evolving storyline. Promises more conflict, potentially more shocking actions from him, especially given his history of going to extremes. His current rage, just the opening act, it feels like.
Setting the stage for more drama.
And finally, we have to circle back to that concerning detail about Matthew Atkinson playing Thomas being on recurring status.
Yeah, a practical element.
It's described as worrisome, leaves us with that ominous thought. There's no telling what he will do. That uncertainty about the actor's future just amplifies the potential for Thomas's character to make some truly extreme, maybe irreversible decisions.
It really does.
It kind of gives the writers freedom, doesn't it? To push Thomas into totally new territory, knowing that his long-term character rehab might not be the main priority.
Looking at all this, the bigger picture, it really highlights how fast storylines can pivot and how past actions, even ones buried long ago, just keep shaping the future.
Constantly echoing.
These overlapping dilemmas, Luna's reckoning, Thomas's revenge, those controversial retcons, they all demonstrate this dynamic narrative where character motives, consequences, they're always shifting, always in flux. And it raises that big question, doesn't it? In a world of constant drama and retcons, can any character truly escape their past? Or are they just forever bound by their histories, endlessly trying to rewrite their own destinies, only to find themselves repeating the same cycles of conflict and redemption?
A profound thought.
The answer to that often dictates the very core of these long-running shows. And it keeps us, the viewers, endlessly speculating, doesn't it? Hashtag outro.
Wow. Okay, what a roller coaster those 2 weeks were. In just a short span in the world of Bold and the Beautiful, we've unpacked some truly monumental shifts.
A lot happened.
We saw Ridge's, quote, definitive, but yeah, highly disputed choice send shockwaves through the Forresters, igniting this explosive feud that's clearly far from over, potentially setting Thomas on a path of no return. We watched Luna's peril just escalate. Her desperate attempts to avoid consequences, drawing the wrath of the Spencers, that shocking, violent rage from her own grandmother Lee, all while she clings to a desperate pregnancy claim.
A total downward spiral for her.
And then that highly controversial redemption of Remy Price, paving the way for B&B's first gay couple, which, bam, is already tangled up in Luna's deepening criminal drama, bringing in those surprising historical connections with Little D.
So many moving parts, all colliding.
You've now hopefully gained a really comprehensive understanding of these complex stories, seeing not just what happened, but those underlying motivations, the intricate history, decades of rivalry, and the huge potential implications for everyone involved.
This deep dive, it's equipped you with those critical nuggets of insight. You should be exceptionally well prepared now to follow all the next twists and turns in this captivating, always evolving saga.
Absolutely. You're not just informed, you are well informed. You've got all the backstage passes you need right here. So, considering all these interwoven sagas, right, the cycles of betrayal, forgiveness, those desperate acts just for survival, the show's willingness to just dramatically rewrite character histories, what does it all tell us about the nature of drama itself?
Good question.
Is absolute redemption truly possible for these characters, or are they just forever bound by their pasts, endlessly seeking to rewrite their own destinies, only to find themselves trapped in the same old patterns?
And maybe. Is that exactly why we keep watching?
Maybe it is. Keep those questions simmering, deep divers. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.